Greetings, beautiful being. Thank you for tuning in and welcome to Movement Medicine Morsels. Today we're going to explore a little bit of tapping and cupping. It's going to help our circulation, and also in this time when a lot of us are confined at home, staying in because of COVID or because of the weather or any other number of reasons, we still can boost our circulation and shift our energy. So this is obviously going to be good for circulation for the body, but what you may not always know right off the bat is that it will also shift your thinking and shift your emotions. Because if you move one part of yourself, all of the other parts can get moved as well. So move your body and you move your mind and your emotions. So anyways, don't take my word for it. Let's try it. Let's try it together. So we'll start at the beginning seated. There will be a point where I might invite you to stand up and you choose what feels good to you. And remember that you can vary the amount of touch, for example, the speed or the pressure. But in general, we want to keep this light so it's not aggressive. But you can also stop and just hold your hand if that feels better for you. Or if movement is just not on the menu today, you can quietly sit or lie down and breathe and visualize that you are energetically tapping these places. So there's something for every one of us. All right, I'm going to move back just a tiny bit. And let's start by setting the foundation. So if you're seated, feel your feet. Feel your sit bones. Let those parts settle into the earth and feel the earth rising up to support and hold you. At the same time, imagine that through the roof of the mouth, there's a gentle rise, like an elevator going up a long shaft, and that's raising your spine so that you fountain up through the crown of the head, yet stay grounded through the base. If you're lying down, let the earth support you and surrender your weight so that you can feel that holding of you. If you're standing, you're stretching between heaven and earth just the same. Let's inhale and raise our shoulders towards the ears, and exhale slowly, smoothly. Let them lower down and rest. 2 more times. Inhale through the nose. You can exhale through the nose or the mouth, whatever helps you release more freely. And 1 more. And now let your breath settle into a pleasing rhythm, in and out through the nose gently. Smile softly, because we're also going to bring loving kindness and awareness to every part of our body that we're tapping. Let's begin by gently tapping around the thymus, a little endocrine gland on top of the heart, and over the lungs and the breastbone, and see yourself happy, healthy, stable, grounded, harmonious. And now one hand can rest on the hip and the other hand makes a cupping shape, and we pat this cup back and forth over the lungs on the one side, under the collarbone, over the chest. And now leaning forward, we're going to cup lovingly around the chest muscles, the breast area. This works for a man or a woman. And lovingly bringing energy, awareness, kindness. And now into the armpit. If you can rest your hand over your head, this opens up a nice expanse here. If that's not available, the hand can go down, or the hand can stay at the waist, or be creative. Maybe you've got a shelf that you can rest your hand on. But in any case, we want to send some love into the armpit, into the chest wall. And now from the armpit, we're going to relax that arm and come down the back of the arm, under the elbow, under the forearm, into the wrist, matching the hands for a clear clapping. And then turning that hand over and cupping the fingertips, the backs of the hand, the back of the wrist. You can even look at your arm while you're cupping and send love, beam love through your own eyes to your beautiful body. Coming up over the shoulder, maybe boost that arm to give you a good reach. And here's a way to get into any tight neck muscles. And remember, the tighter or stiffer a body part is, the gentler you go in your cupping or tapping. Smile and breathe and send goodwill. Now relax and pause for a moment. Feel yourself as you are. And I'd like to ask you to explore, does that one arm feel any different? Do you feel any difference in the arm that's been cupped and tapped and the other arm? Just for a little pause to notice as we're blossoming. And let's zip up our energy, and once again, we lovingly cup and think of your lungs opening, any stagnation, even phlegm, loosening up. So this is good even if you have a cold or congestion, but again, go more delicately and take pauses if you need to. Cupping the hand and patting back and forth. The other hand can just rest on the lap or on the hip. And now leaning forward, we're going to circle the chest muscles, the chest region, the breast area. It's important for men and women to have good circulation in the breast. We all have lymph glands. And here we're going to come into the outside of the chest wall, the armpit, and the side of the breast and chest region with love. And letting more breath flood the area too. Coming from the armpit down the arm, under the elbow as we relax the shoulders, under the forearm, inside, clapping the hands. Nice, clear, bright sound, which also shifts the energy around you. Fingertips, and cupping up the back of the hand, the outside of the arm, and boosting that arm if it helps you. I've got shortish arms, so this helps me reach further. If that works for you, go for it. And lovingly tapping the neck. We often build up a lot of tension in the neck. And then just swing those arms lightly, shake out through the fingertips, shake down, and wiggle a little bit. And take a moment to see how all of that feels so far. And now from the chest, lightly tapping like raindrops up the throat as we lift the chin, right into the jawline. And now over to the tips of the shoulders and coming up the sides of the neck. When you get to the ear, make a peace sign, and one finger taps in front and one behind. Let's do that one more time. If there's tenderness, go more gently. And then the back. Coming up into the base of the skull and across and back down again. And let's just shake out a little bit, shake out. And now tapping a little bit at the joints where the jaw hinges. You can yawn here and make some silly faces and stick out your tongue. It's also very good. Sticking out the tongue stretches the throat. Try it. Tongue starts around here in the throat, so that's very helpful. And sliding the jaw a little bit from side to side if you happen to have any jaw tension. And then coming under the cheekbones, up the sides of the nose, right to the bridge, and fluffing up under the cheekbones so you encourage that lovely smile. Tapping lightly at the temples. And then over the forehead and all over the scalp. Keep rising up. Don't let the padding squish you down. Waking up the brain. Cover all areas. Get behind the ears, temples, scalp. And then shake that out and rub your hands to warm them. brushing off the energy. Inhale up the throat. You can touch or just hover over the face, and exhale, clear off those dust bunnies and shake them off. One more time, rub, inhale, clear up, and exhale over the head and release, release, release. Cupping over the chest, back and forth with any sound you like. And now I'll invite you to stand, although you're very welcome to continue seated, just for a little variety. We're going to fluff the chest and the breast tissue a little bit. If you're standing, you can add a light bounce in your knees. And we're coming now into the lower rib cage. If you're sitting in the chair, you might be bouncing less or not bouncing. Make it feel good for you. Coming around the sides, you can use the inner fists and a little bit of kidney and back zone. You can go up and down. Feel free to add sound here too. It's like echolocation radar. You're sounding and you're sending the sound to match and meet your body parts. And then coming around the hips. You can shimmy here if you like, cupping the outsides of the hips, coming around towards the belly, getting a little softer. We didn't do the navel, so spend a little time at your navel and let your belly be soft. Don't suck it in. It's not that kind of a work in. Coming into the lower belly gently and imagining that this tapping is ultrasound, because it is, and it can go right inside, deep into your organs. Let's take that around into the sacral region. You can use the backs of the hands. And we're going to finish up by coming down the outsides of the legs, bending over comfortably. You don't have to go any further than is comfortable. You can visualize the rest of the cupping. And we're coming down the outsides of the legs, to the outsides of the ankles, outsides of the feet, tops of the feet, insides, coming up the insides, coming up to the groin. Let this slow down. And take a moment. Fill out your vertical alignment. Standing or sitting tall or lying very relaxed and long. Feel the ground. Feel the sky. Feel that stretch in two directions. And fold your hands over your low belly. And collect the breath and your awareness here. As though it's a three-dimensional sphere of energy. And when you inhale, you fill the whole sphere, front, back, sides, above and below. And as you exhale, that sphere gently contracts. And take another breath or two as you're smiling. Notice how you feel. Has there been a shift since the beginning to now? Do you feel more of yourself? I certainly hope so. I feel better, and I appreciate you very much for playing along with me, and I hope that these little movement medicine morsels give you a little bright light in your day. We'll see you next time. Thank you for tuning in. Lots of love.